How many times have you walked away from a conversation feeling like something was completely wrong, but you couldn't explain what it was? You've probably noticed something deeply unsettling as you move through life. It is not that people are confusing. It is that they are completely inconsistent. Someone looks you in the eye and promises loyalty, yet they disappear the exact second it becomes inconvenient. They say they care, yet their actions quietly pull away. They smile, they agree, they reassure you, and later, they act as if none of those words ever existed. And the most painful part isn't the betrayal itself. It is the humiliating realization that you did not see it coming. Most people go through life completely blind. They believe they understand human nature because they listen to what people say. But words are cheap. Words are a performance. Words are designed to protect an image, hide intentions, and manipulate your perception. If you want to stop being confused, used, and entirely blindsided by the people around you, you must accept one brutal reality. People are not what they say. People are what they do under pressure. In the next few minutes, I am going to give you the clinical, dark psychology framework to read anyone instantly. You are going to learn why your own hope is making you blind. You will discover how to decode the hidden language of silence. And you will learn exactly how to strip away the performance to see the raw, undeniable truth of human character. Write this down immediately. Behavior never lies. By the end of this protocol, you will stop being a victim of confusion and become a completely untouchable observer. Let's dismantle the illusion you've been living in. The biggest mistake you make when trying to read people is assuming they think exactly like you do. This is a cognitive bias known as projection. Because you value honesty, you assume others are being honest. Because you value loyalty, you expect loyalty in return. You project your own moral compass onto a world that operates strictly on self-interest and survival. This projection is exactly why you get hurt. You are not reading the person in front of you. You are reading a fictional version of them that you created in your own head. When someone's actions do not match their words, you experience cognitive dissonance. Your brain hates this discomfort, so it invents excuses for them. You tell yourself they are just stressed. You tell yourself they didn't mean it. You tell yourself it is just a phase. You do the hard work of lying to yourself so they don't have to. Stop doing this immediately. When a person shows you their dark side, believe them the first time. Inconsistency is not a mistake. Inconsistency is the truth leaking out from behind the mask. Think about how society operates. From childhood, we are trained to perform. We are taught to smile politely when we are angry, to agree when we disagree, to say the socially acceptable thing to avoid conflict. Everyone you meet is wearing a carefully crafted mask designed to maximize their social survival. If you only listen to their words, you are only interacting with the mask. To read someone instantly, you must ignore the dialogue and study the baseline. Here is the exact psychological trick to break their cover. Every person has a baseline behavior. This is how they act when they're relaxed, comfortable, and unthreatened. How fast do they speak? How much eye contact do they make? How do they carry their shoulders? You must establish this baseline within the first few minutes of interacting with them. Once you have the baseline, you stop listening to the content of their words and you start looking for deviations. When a person lies, or when they're hiding their true intentions, their brain has to work twice as hard. It requires massive cognitive load to maintain a deception. This overload causes the baseline to crack. They might suddenly speak faster. They might freeze and hold unnaturally still. They might blink rapidly or force too much eye contact to appear sincere. They will use extra words to over-explain a simple answer. These are micro-leaks. The mask is slipping. Most people ignore these leaks because they are desperate for the conversation to remain comfortable. The calm observer leans into the discomfort. But reading people goes much deeper than just catching lies. It is about understanding their fundamental character. And character is never revealed in comfort. Character is only revealed in crisis. Watch what happens when the pressure drops. If you want to know who someone truly is, watch how they react when they lose control. Watch how they treat people who have absolutely no power to help them. Watch what they do when they make a mistake. Do they take accountability, or do they immediately shift the blame to someone else? Pressure strips away the social conditioning. When a person is stressed, exhausted, or cornered, they do not have the energy to keep the mask on. The performance ends. The primal instincts take over. If someone is deeply insecure, pressure will turn them arrogant and cruel. If someone is genuinely confident, pressure will make them quiet and calculated. Never trust a person's character when everything is going well. Anyone can be kind when the sun is shining and their bank account is full. True character is the default setting that activates when everything falls apart. Now, let's explore the darkest and most accurate tool in your arsenal: silence. Most people are terrified of silence. They rush to fill it with words, jokes, and nervous energy. But silence is a mirror. It forces people to look at themselves, and it reveals exactly what they're trying to hide. What they don't do is always louder than what they do. When you stop talking and simply observe, people become deeply uncomfortable. Without you feeding them conversational cues, they don't know what you want them to be. In their panic to relieve the tension, they will overcompensate. They will reveal too much information. They will try to impress you, or they will withdraw entirely. Silence also reveals the reality of your relationships. Pay close attention to the gaps. Someone says you're important to them, but their silence stretches for days when you need help. Someone claims they support your goals, but their silence is deafening when you achieve a major victory. Their silence is not an oversight. Their silence is an active choice. It is a communication of their true priorities. When you learn to read silence, you stop being fooled by loud declarations of loyalty. You begin to understand that absence is a language of its own. So, how do you use this? How do you apply this dark psychology to protect yourself and dominate your social environment? You stop reacting. The reason people can manipulate you is because you are predictable. You give away your emotions freely. When they praise you, you glow. When they insult you, you defend yourself. You are constantly providing them with data on how to control you. It is time to flip the dynamic permanently. To read people accurately, you must become unreadable yourself. You must separate your emotions from your observations. When someone acts inconsistently, the weak person gets angry, demands explanations, and begs for closure. They give their power away to someone who has already proven they cannot be trusted. The calm observer does not demand an explanation. The calm observer simply collects the data. You do not need to confront them. You do not need to call them a liar. You do not need to force a dramatic ending. You simply adjust their place in your life based on the new data. They showed you their true pattern. You acknowledge it, you accept it, and you move them out of your inner circle, quietly, ruthlessly. This is the ultimate form of power. You are no longer navigating the world based on naive hopes and empty words. You are navigating reality. When you master this, something incredible happens. The anxiety disappears. You stop wondering why people do what they do, because their patterns make total sense. You stop feeling betrayed because you see the betrayal coming from miles away. You become completely detached from the chaotic emotional games that consume 99% of the population. You no longer ask, why did they do this to me? You simply state, this is who they are. This transition changes your aura entirely. People will sense that they cannot play games with you. Manipulators will avoid you because their tactics will bounce right off your armor. Honest people will respect you because they recognize the strength of your boundaries. While others chase explanations, you choose observation. While others react, you respond. That's not coldness. That's clarity. And clarity is the quiet superpower that changes everything. Subscribe to the channel to keep seeing reality clearly. Master your environment. See you in the next protocol.